What's up, Kryptonians? First video I've done in about a week. No better time than the present to talk about one of my most anticipated films of 2025. 28 Years Later is the sequel and the follow-up to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. It's a post-apocalyptic zombie franchise that also includes a graphic novel and a comic, and the first one way back when in 2002 was directed by Danny Boyle and it was written by Alex Garland. And now here we are in 2025. Danny Boyle is back directing this film and Alex Garland is back as the writer. And this film stars Ralph Fiennes, it stars Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Jodie Comer, also stars Alfie Williams, and it is a movie that is set, as the title would indicate, 28 years after the rage virus infected the UK. Aaron Taylor-Johnson plays a character named Jamie, and he has decided it is time to take his 12 or 13-year-old son named Spike out into the mainland of Britain, the mainland that has become zombie infested, so that he can learn about what it takes to kill these rage virus zombies. What follows is an interesting blend of zombie movie and character study and coming of age story. And there's not much else that I want to give away besides what I just told you. So let's talk about 28 Years Later. This was very high up on my most anticipated list. I was very much excited for this. 28 Days Later is one of the greatest zombie movies, or zombie movies because Danny Boyle doesn't consider them zombie movies. I also really enjoyed the sequel, 28 Weeks Later, even though it's clearly not as good as the first one. At the very least, I was hoping and expecting for this movie to be good. What I got is one of the best movies of 2025 and one of the greatest movies in this type of genre that we've ever seen. I have to start with the visuals for this movie because the look of this movie is everything. I gotta shout out the art design too, the way that they set up this world, the way that the entire post-apocalyptic feel of this movie is in complete disarray. It's dirty, it's grimy, it's destroyed. I mean, you see trains, you see gas stations, you see remnants of the old world, and it is overgrown and infested with the devastation of the new wildlife. And so the art design and the level of detail that was given to craft these environments, I do want to give that a shout out. The film itself was shot on an iPhone 15 Max Pro or something like that. And they do use other stuff. They use drones. There's a few action cameras. And I gotta say, it's one of the most visually arresting movies, not just of the year, but one of the most visually arresting movies I think I've ever seen. This is stunning, mesmerizing, invigorating ass cinematography, man, for real. And it's not just one particular thing. It is everything. Even knowing that it's shot on an iPhone, it's not just the colors and the grading or the dynamic camera work, the movement, the angles that they get to. The camera work and the cinematography of this movie combining with the editing to form something eerie and ethereal, something that feels equal parts dark and beautiful. It feels grim, it feels dread. You feel that in all of the shots of this movie. I would love to watch an entire movie, a behind the scenes featurette of like an hour or two of them breaking down every single shot. I would be fascinated by that. There are some shots and some moments in this movie where I'm just like, how the fuck did you do that? How the fuck did you make it look like that? What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is going on? This is a movie that feels like it's a couple of different movies put together perfectly into one. I thought everything in the story and the movie flowed, and I love the fact that he actually had a real story that he wanted to tell here. This movie is very bleak. It is very depressing. It is very dark. It is unhinged at times. It's a movie that's very intense and has a ton of zombie action. There are so many amazing set pieces involving these zombies and involving the people trying to kill them. The arrow work that was on display in this movie, mwah, it was just chef's kiss. It was perfect. I love seeing that shit. But if you're looking for plenty of scenes where you have to yell at the screen, run, bitch, run! Like, there's tons of those scenes in this movie, so you're gonna get your fill there. But the movie also, at the same time, is a character drama. This movie feels like a heavy meditation on grief and on the parts of humanity that you lose to time and to trauma. It's also a movie that feels like a coming of age story. There is a character in particular whose name is Spike in this movie. The movie is really about him kind of coming to terms with the man that he's gonna be, the man he wants to be, and about growing up and letting go of certain things. Like, all of that is handled beautifully in this movie. There's a lot of thoughtfulness put into the story of this film. There's a lot of scenes where things can marinate and kind of sit with you. Things do get very heavy here. I would say there are spectacular performances all the way around. Everybody, the main principal character, Aaron Taylor-Johnson is great. Ralph Fiennes, Voldemort, he is amazing in this movie and one of the best characters in the entire thing. amazing. If you're looking for performance standouts, I would definitely say Jodie Comer. Jodie Comer was amazing in this movie. It's really Alfie Williams who steals the show. Alfie Williams, who plays this kid named Spike, I was not expecting the level of performance that I got from him. He creates one of the better characters for the franchise moving forward than I ever could have hoped for. The world building is better here. They take all of the concepts from the previous movies, they double down on it, they explore a few things. I feel like if you're going into this expecting it to be the same exact movie that you've seen before, this movie goes in some places that you wouldn't expect, and so you shouldn't expect it to be the same movie you saw before. And now that I've spent the better part of this video kissing this movie's ass, I have to come with some negatives, because that's what I do on this channel. I try to be fair, I try to point out some negatives and some issues, and honestly, I really just had one. The biggest issue I have with this movie is the issue that a lot of people are gonna have with this movie, which is the ending of the movie. Everything up until like the literal last 5-ish minutes of the movie is an utter masterpiece of the genre. It kind of turns into a different movie in those last 5 minutes, and it also serves as like a shameless sequel bait type of thing. They do connect this ending to the beginning of the movie, so it doesn't come out of nowhere, but it might as well have come out of nowhere when you consider like how jarring this tonal shift is. So all of that did take me out of the movie, and while I thought it was kind of absurd and hilarious, I also was kind of like, this is not the movie that I've watched for like the other 98% of it. So it didn't sit with me or hit with me that well. I would actually say the thing that people are going to be pissed off about is what they might be trying to say with this ending and what dark implications there are for this ending moving forward into this series. I don't know what the intent is here, and I'm pretty sure it was on purpose, but I don't know why. And so for now, all I can say is that 28 years later, I was never bored. I was fully engaged. It's exciting, it's intense, but it's also very bleak, very depressing. 28 years later is a 98% masterpiece of the genre, and I'm gonna leave this one in Superman Prime. Tell me what your thoughts are. What is your favorite film of the 28 franchise? Go ahead and put that in the comment section. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.